Mr. President, I want to say a few words about family values. Family values is an expression that has been used for many years by my Republican colleagues, and generally speaking, what they mean by family values is opposition to a woman's right to choose, opposition to contraception, opposition to gay rights. And I happen to strongly disagree with many of my Republican colleagues on those issues. And let me take the opportunity to briefly give a somewhat different perspective on family values, on real family values, on the values that really matter to millions of families in this country. Mr. President, when a mother gives birth to a baby and is unable to spend time with that newborn child during the first weeks and months of that baby's life because she does not have the money to stay home and is forced to go back to work, which is the case for millions of mothers in this country, Mr. President, that is not a family value. Separating a mother from a newborn baby for economic reasons is not a family value. In fact, that is an attack on everything that a family is supposed to stand for. When a wife is diagnosed with cancer and her husband cannot get time off of work to take care of her because he does not have any family or medical leave time or any sick leave time, that is not a family value. That is an attack on everything that a family is supposed to stand for. When a husband, wife, and kids, during the course of an entire year, are unable to spend any time on a vacation, when they can't get together in leisure activity, when they can't relax and spend quality time with each other, that is not a family value. Let us be very clear in understanding that, in fact, in terms of protecting the needs of our families, in terms of real family values, in many, many respects, the United States of America lags behind virtually every other major country on earth. When you look at other major countries, what you find is that the United States is the only advanced economy that does not guarantee its workers some form of paid family leave, some form of paid sick time, some form of paid vacation time. In other words, when it comes to basic workplace protections and family benefits, workers in every other major industrialized country in the world get a better deal than our workers here in the United States. That is wrong, that is a travesty, and that has got to change. Last place is no place for America. It is time for us to join the rest of the industrialized world by showing the people of this country that we are not just a nation that talks about family values, but that we are a nation that is prepared to live up to these ideals by making sure that workers in this country have access to paid family leave, paid sick time, and paid vacations, just like workers in virtually every other major country on earth. Simply stated, it is unacceptable that millions of women in this country give birth and are forced back to work because they don't have the income to stay home with their newborn babies. What is, when we talk about family values, more important for mothers and fathers to bond with their babies at a time when almost every psychologist will tell you that those are the most important weeks and months of a human being's life. What kind of family value is it when you tell a woman who has just had a baby that she cannot spend time with her child, but she has got to go back to work? This is not a family value. That is an insult to every mother, every father, and every newborn child in this country, and we have got to change that. The reality is that the Family and Medical Leave Act that was signed into law in 1993 is totally inadequate. Today, nearly 8 out of 10 workers in this country who are eligible to take time off under this law cannot do so because they cannot afford to do so, according to the Department of Labor. Even worse, 40% of American workers are not even eligible to receive this unpaid leave because they work for a company with fewer than 50 employees. In my view, every worker in this country should be guaranteed at least 12 weeks of paid family and medical leave, and that is why I am a proud co-sponsor of the Family Act introduced by Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. The Family Act would guarantee employees 12 weeks of paid family and medical leave to take care of a baby, to help a family member who is diagnosed with cancer or has some other serious medical condition, or to take care of themselves if they become seriously ill. And just like Social Security, retirement, and disability, it is an insurance program that workers would pay into at a price of about 1 cup of coffee a week. But that's not all. We have got to make certain that in this country, workers have paid sick time. It is absurd that low-wage workers in McDonald's, Burger King's, and low-wage employees all over this country who get sick are forced to work because they cannot afford to take time off. Not only is this unfair to the workers, it is also a public health issue. I don't know about you, but I am not crazy about the idea of somebody who is sick coming to work, preparing the food that I eat in a restaurant. And that is why I am supporting the Healthy Families Act, introduced by Senator Patty Murray, which guarantees 7 days of paid sick leave to American workers. This bill would benefit 43 million Americans who today do not have access to paid sick leave, and it would create a permanent flaw in workplaces where employers already provide some paid sick leave. Last but not least, Mr. President, when we talk about the disappearing American middle class, we are talking about millions of American workers working longer hours for lower wages. We are talking about Americans who are overworked, underpaid, and in many cases living under enormous stress. In my state of Vermont, I see it every week I'm home. You talk to people who are working not one job, they're working 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs, in order to cobble together some income and some health care. And here's an amazing irony. Many of us can remember in school reading about workers protesting, taking to the streets 100 years ago, Mr. President, and they held up large banners. And you know what those banners said 100 years ago? They said, "We want a 40-hour work week." A 40-hour work week is the demand 100 years ago. And today, we still have not achieved that goal. In fact, today, 85% of men who are working and 66% of working women are working more than 40 hours a week. In fact, in America today, not widely known but true, our people are working the longest hours of any major country on earth, because as real wages go down, people have got to work 50 hours, they've got to work 60 hours. Husbands are working here, wives are working there, all together to cobble together some income in order to provide for the family. Today, Americans are working 137 hours a year more than workers in Japan, and the Japanese are very hard workers. We are working 260 hours more than the British and almost 500 hours a year more than French workers. And that is why I am introducing legislation today to require employers to provide at least 10 days of paid vacation to workers in this country. This is already done in almost every other major country on earth, and it is one more way to demonstrate our commitment to real family values. So what we are saying is that if families are overworked, if husbands and wives don't even have the time to spend together with their kids, what family values are about is that at least for 2 weeks a year, people can come together under a relaxed environment and enjoy the families. That is a family value that I want to see happen in this country. So, Mr. President, the time is long overdue for us to start talking about real family values. Not about abortion, not about gay rights, but the values that the American people want to see inscribed in law to protect their families. Let us make sure that every American worker is entitled to paid family and medical leave, paid sick time, and guaranteed at least some vacation time. Those are real family values. Let's go forward and make that happen. And with that, Mr. President, I yield the floor.
Mr. President.
Senator from Michigan.